Today I got off from work and had decided it was more than appropriate, with school back in session for most now already, that the time has finally come for me to show you how to make something using the ClayZee Eraser Clay that I was sent from Aliquantum International. So this adorable little cupcake eraser is what we're going to create. Eraser ClayZee pack with the 12 vibrant colors that you create your own erasers that are supposed to be able to erase pencil marks and whatnot after you create it and you microwave it in a water container that comes either in a kit or, as David from Aliquantum International has sent me separately, in the microwave. You put it in the microwave, it cures it, and turns it into an eraser. So I want to try to make something, but I wanted to open this on camera so you can see what comes in the pack. This is what comes in the kit. Okay, you get this neat little clay tools that are double-sided. There's an end on both sides, obviously, for the purpose of doing two different things, cutting and making marks and whatnot in the clay. It came with this neat little blister pack type molding system. They each have like little molds within them that you can press the clay inside to make little shapes, and they give you little ideas like a leaf, little faces, you know, something you can put on them. So it came with just this little instruction sheet that just basically tells you how to make little balls and little shapes and coils and so forth. Okay, I'm going to take out the brown clay. I'm just going to break off a piece. I'm making this piece of brown clay as malleable as I possibly can. And it actually seems to feel like polymer clay. It has that nice feel to it. I like the way the clay feels now that it's conditioned quite well. Okay, I'm going to take all the brown clay and I'm going to mash it and make it malleable. I like the way the clay feels in my hand. It feels like you know, it's a little tacky, but it's not sticking to me where it gets stuck. You know, it's coming away from my fingers very well. It has a nice feel to it. It's warming up just like polymer clay would warm up. And it's quite malleable. I'm going to flatten the ball and then I'm going to roll it with my fingers at the side. So what I'm doing initially is I'm tapering it so that it's smaller on the top, on the bottom. You can see that. Smaller on the bottom, bigger on the top. And let's use some of this pink icing. I'm going to use my little knife that came in it. And I think we only need a small piece of this. I don't think we need a lot of it. Let's see, we'll make a coil type topped eraser. Now I'm going to condition this pink piece in my hand. In the warmth of my hand, just like with polymer clay. Sorry, I'm off camera. Seems to work really well as far as conditioning it. I want to say it's almost like playing with a piece of bubble gum, just not as sticky. And I'm going to roll this out into a coil so we can make a nice little frosty looking top for our cupcake. So I'm going to try to get this pretty even. This is, I can tell you, it rolls out just like clay. I'm going to start here in the middle and work my way around and overlap. And okay, so we have a nice little cupcake top. Not sure that that's the route I want to go with my cupcake. Maybe I want to smush it down around the sides and make it look like it melted onto the cupcake a little bit. Just go around my finger, press on it, pushing it into the cupcake like so. Leave that nice little tip up top. We'll use this. Just taking a teeny tiny piece, making it malleable, conditioning it, because obviously it feels like it won't stick to itself or to another piece of clay if I don't do that. And I'm just going to place that right on the top. So I have a nice little cherry on the top of my cupcake, if you can see that. We can go around and put some lines in the cupcake. Got 1, 2, just going around and putting lines in the cupcake for the base of the cupcake. Okay, flatten it again, and I want to add a couple little sprinkles to my cupcake. So I'm going to take some purple, and I'm just going to take a little tiny piece of purple and just condition it. As I'm pushing it between my fingers, the warmth of my hands is making it that sticky feeling. And I think if you're any kind of a clay artist, polymer clay or otherwise, you will feel that texture that you just know that it's ready to work with. And so here what I'm doing is I'm just going to roll up some tiny little snake, and I'm going to cut the snake into little pieces and just apply them on the cupcake. Just kind of random places throughout the cupcake. I'm going to use one color, and then I'm going to switch to another color. I'm going to use some yellow. And what I haven't noticed so far is any of the color transferring onto my finger. So for small children, because some polymer clay colors, you will see it on your fingers. And I don't see that happening with this at all, which is a good thing, because you don't want this stuff transferring onto your fingers. And I don't get that residue that you get with polymer clay either. In case that's important to anybody, because polymer clay, you have to constantly use wet wipes and clean your hands off between colors, especially colors like red, and that purple definitely would have been one of those colors. With polymer clay I would have had to wash my hands from. So I'm just going to make this a little bit thinner. Hope I'm still within the camera's view. And when I got this about where I want it, I'm going to make little cuts and put sprinkles throughout on the cupcake. Just a few. So, just to give it a little bit of pizzazz. Now remember, this is supposed to be a pencil eraser, so you definitely are not going to want to put anything onto it that might fall off of it, because you're going to use this as a pencil eraser, obviously, or that's the idea of it. So here's the little cupcake. I hope you can see that in the light. And we're going to take this, and I'll show you how I'm going to set up the microwavable container, and we'll take it to the microwave and we'll cure it. Okay, so in the microwave bowl there's a little line on here that says fill to here, and then we're going to put our eraser that we made inside. We're going to put the lid on. I don't know if this screws, yep, kind of screws on a little bit. Ah, there we go. And I'm just going to leave it in there. I'm going to open up the microwave. Put this in the microwave. Now, what it says is in a 700, don't mind the birds, in a 700 watt microwave. Hello? For 10 minutes, but I have a 900 watt microwave, and on the very bottom here has a little gauge on the very bottom of this paper that came within the package. It says for 900 watts, 8 minutes. So we're gonna make its power 8 minutes, start. Still hot, but let it cool down. That thing in there needs to get to that color. Just let it sit. This has totally been cooled down. If you notice the things that are inside the lid, they turn the same color purple. They're white when it's still hot, which is an indication that you're not to touch it. And they turn back purple to this color when it cools down. So what I'm going to do is, so I have a paper towel here. I'm just going to lay it down so we don't make any wetness. And I'm going to take our eraser out of the water, and I'm going to carefully discard the water. Sorry for the lack of action here. I'm going to discard the water container. And just for the purpose of this video, it has had some water evaporation in the container. Very little, maybe about a quarter of the water has evaporated from the container. And I'm just gonna like dry this off. It's squishy, it feels like an eraser. Feels like everything is stuck to it, all the sprinkles. Nope, see, when the sprinkles are coming off. Yeah, they easily come off. So yeah, that seems to be a problem. I don't know if there's a better way to stick those on. Some are stuck, but some weren't really stuck that well to it. The cherry seems to be stuck well. So obviously you have to really push them into the clay. The coil seems to want to give away in some areas, I guess where I haven't pressed it. And yeah, the sprinkles want to come off a little too easy. So I've taken all the sprinkles off. Apparently, sprinkles don't hold to the clay real well. And let's just see if as an eraser it works. I'm going to remove this quickly out of the way. I have a little drawing here for the purpose of this video. The outside is done in Sharpie marker, while the inside is done with pencil, and so is this where I wrote from Cray. I don't know if the camera's picking that up. And I'm just going to take this and yeah. It does have eraser qualities, okay? I'm just going to light pencil marks it, obviously. Yeah, works pretty well. Sorry if I'm moving the camera. And I'm just gonna, for the sake of this video, this is a regular pencil eraser, one that those caps that you put on a pencil. And it's not taking it off any more than the clay eraser did. So there you have it, the ClayZee Eraser Clay. It feels squishy. So thanks for joining me in my little video. I want to thank David of Aliquantum International for both the product to test and his time and patience with me, because it's taken forever for me to do these test videos. I have some other clay from Aliquantum that was sent to me, some cork clay, some stone clay, and so on and so forth, and I'm going to come up with something and do some video. And we'll be showing you some more. Thanks for watching.